Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Kirk Arso here with North Haven CrossFit. Today in episode 2, we are going to talk about rowing. A lot of us have questions about rowing and some of us love it, some of us hate it. And it really all comes down to technique and just exactly what we're doing on the rower. But hopefully something today will help you get a little bit better on the rower. So the rower right here, as you can see, it's a standard rower that we use at CrossFit all the time. A lot of people, what ends up happening is they get super nervous about the rower. They feel like they're just not good. If you just get your technique down a little bit better, maybe it'll help you in the long run, but it just takes a little bit of practice. So the damper does make a little bit of a difference. If you notice, I like to keep my damper between 7 and 8 for most CrossFit workouts, but just depending on what I'm doing, if I'm doing a 5K or a 10K or something crazy like that, maybe I won't put it as high. The lower you go, it obviously is a little bit easier, and the higher you go, it's more resistance on your pull. But right now we're gonna talk a little bit about technique and how we actually pull on the rower. So when I start my rower, I always try to get the wheel going a little bit. So I pull the wheel just a little bit and I'm able to get the wheel inside here in a constant motion. When I'm rowing, there's a couple things that I have in mind. I want to elongate my pull as far as I possibly can. So what does that mean? So as I'm rowing, I want to get the handle as close to the plastic as possible. What that does is it maximizes my pull, all right? And so I'm not have short, choppy strides. What I tell a lot of people in our classes is think if you were on a lake or something like that. If you're sitting here grinding and pulling as hard as you can, by the time you get from one side to the other, you're going to be exhausted. But if you elongate your pull and you have nice smooth strides, just think about that lake. Every time you stop pull, your boat is still moving. So let's talk about that stroke a little bit. So if you notice a couple things, I'm maximizing the power in my legs. I'm pushing as hard as I can through the legs while my arms stay straight. So while I'm here, I'm pushing, 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 pushing. As soon as my legs get locked out, that's when I start to engage my upper body and then pull. I don't pull anything with my arms until my legs are all the way straight. So let's watch that in action. Another thing is as I pull back, I'm not immediately driving the handle forward. I give it a second and allow, again, if we're on the lake, allow my boat to move before I come back in ready for my next stroke. So realistically, it's explosion, slow. So here we go, explosion, slow, explosion, slow, all right? And I keep a nice consistent pace, all right? We can dive a little bit more into this, but right now I wanna jump into the monitor. So guys, the monitor is pretty important to what we're looking at when we're doing our row. There's a couple numbers here. Let me light it back up. All right, number 1 is our strokes per minute. That you want to keep an eye on as you're rowing because again, the more strokes you do per minute, the more energy you're actually putting out. There's also your pace per 500 and obviously your meters or your calories depending on what you do. So as I'm rowing, all right, I want to maintain a solid, let's just say I'm doing 1,000 meters for time. I want to look at that top right screen and I want to try to keep my strokes per minute in a manageable setting. So I see a lot of people when they do short choppy strides, they sit like this and all of a sudden their strokes per minute gets jacked up. But if I calm down, relax and pull nice and smooth, my strokes per minute go down to under 30 and I'm able to maintain that 147 per 500. All right, again, if I'm sprinting, it's the same concept. I just want to drive, pull my legs a little bit harder, but I'm still around that 27 to 30 strokes per minute. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comments below and we'll be happy to answer them on our next video. We'll see you next time.